So I've repaired the top and the lid a little with some fire cement. I've put fire cement around the top of the crucible to stop it oxidising and reshaped the funnel a little bit more sensibly. I've filled it as much as I can with iron. So let's turn it on and see how long it takes. So after 20 minutes, this is after 45 minutes. Tiny bit of heat escaping around this side, but nothing much. This is 2 hours 10 minutes into the run. As you can probably see, the wooden enclosure is starting to burn. So let's have a look. Oh, it's not molten, but I'm sure that's a bit brighter. So that's 2 hours 39. The back of the lid is, smoking a little bit more. So I thought I'll just poke a hole in the top and try and let the heat that is currently escaping out the back escape through the top instead, where it can come through insulation. And lo and behold, my welding rod went all the way to the bottom of the crucible, down in there, which is about this level. So I thought, I'll just have a look, and if you can see that, there's a hole clearly in the top of that piece of iron, which I just poked by hand with a 4mm welding rod, like that. So it's crumbling, the iron in there. 2 hours 39. I sort of been thinking it would be nice to see if I can run it for 4 hours solid in one go. There is suggestive evidence that the temperature is increasing very, very slowly, and that if I left it in for another hour and a half, I might be able to pull that iron out. Wouldn't that be nice? So it's been 3.5 hours, and the holes that I poked in the top, I've just had a look, as you can see, have gone very much a different shape. So the structure of the metal is collapsing, which means we are getting hotter. Slowly getting hotter. Clearly the box is too small and the wood is suffering somewhat, so I think a rebuild is quite imminent. So this is the pattern of what I'm trying to cast. It was a piece of plastic. I want to cast some pieces of iron that shape that I can then put together as a two-part thing to form a circle, put in the lathe and the mill, machine out to make a permanent mould. So just trying to see if that whole workflow actually works. Smallest flasks ever, bit too small in fact on that side, but there we go. So yeah, that goes on top of that. I've tried to make an elongated trench here to account for the change in that position as I tilt the coil. So hopefully that means I won't have to be quite so accurate. Hey. So it's been now 4 hours and I have just seen sloshing around iron in the bottom of the crucible. It takes a long time to get there. I don't know that I can video it because it involves more hands than I've got, but I'm going to leave it for another hour and see if it will get up to pouring temperature. I've just been round and blocked up some heat holes with sand, but there's still smoke getting out, so it's a race between melting the iron and setting fire to the furnace. Hey ho. And boom! So that was a test pour after 4.5 hours, just to see if there was enough liquid in the bottom to actually pour, which clearly there was. It's struggling to do that large volume of iron that I've asked it to, but I think I was going to say I could try pouring that thing that I made the pattern for, but looking at it now, the height is going to be a problem. Let's see. So that's the shot of the iron that I didn't melt. The ceramic in there seems to have held up quite nicely. Patch it up a bit more, I suppose. The lid caught fire, the hinges failed. But I did melt iron. Hurrah.